Hello, welcome to English 10B Unit 7. So this will be the first audio vocabulary lecture for this unit. So go ahead and take out your student activity workbook. Turn to page 7 and follow along with me. The first vocabulary word that we're focusing on is ulterior, which means further or beyond what is openly stated or implied. So you'll find it on page 411. The sentence reads, "My neighbor is being particularly nice to me since I got my new picnic table. I think she has ulterior motives." So perhaps you're thinking that the speaker might think that the neighbor's not just being nice for the sake of being nice, to be a nice person, but that maybe she or he is thinking that somewhere down the line she's going to ask you to borrow that picnic table. And because she's been nice to you for weeks, the past couple of weeks, that perhaps you're going to be more likely to say yes. So hopefully maybe this person is just being nice to be nice, right? And also this picture here is silly. I typed in ulterior motive jokes, and this is the image that I got on Google. Come down here, the water's great. Well, if you have a killer white shark, are you thinking that it's a good idea? Obviously, sharks don't talk, but I don't think their motive would be genuine or purely just trying to get you to come in and test out the water, but that the motive would be, that the great white shark might want to eat you. So kind of silly, but I thought it captured the meaning of ulterior. The next word is sabotage. Sabotage means crafty interference with production or work, undermining of a cause. So basically, sabotage means ruining something, also found on page 411. The sentence reads, I still think back in 7th grade, Daniel tried to sabotage my science project, but I still won first place. So again, we could replace sabotage with interference of work. In this case, the work would be referring to the science project, or Daniel tried to ruin my science project, but I still won first place. So this picture is something that I found again on Google Images for sabotage or ruining something. Obviously putting glue into a computer box, which is something that is totally old school, not something that you see nowadays as we use laptops, but that's pretty much the brain of the computer, and pouring glue into it is obviously going to ruin it or sabotage the computer. All right, so Unit 7 has, again, where we fill in the definition, context and page, our own sentence for the word ulterior, and for the word sabotage. So let's start, make sure you turn to page 9. Let's start with parts of speech is an adjective. So you can just put ADJ. And again, the formal definition is further, semicolon, beyond what is openly stated or implied. Sentence from context and page. So it is page 411, that's given, and it is ulterior motives couldn't be overlooked by the censorship division. Oops, I spelled that wrong, I'll fix it. But they needn't be too strict, and then I'll just leave it like that, okay? So let me fix censorship is obviously spelled incorrectly, okay? Your own sentence. So how about this? And feel free to write your own. When my sister does the dishes without being asked, I suspect ulterior motives. So Basically, I don't think she's just doing the dishes to be nice, but that she probably wants to ask my mom if she can stay out late on Saturday or something, go beyond her curfew. Okay, so synonym. So a synonym would be covert or hidden. And then I also noticed there's a space for antonym, which means obviously the opposite. And the opposite would be expressed, public, overt. Okay, so overt is the opposite of covert, which is meaning hidden. Your own definition. So I like the one that the answer key gives. It's having your own personal agenda. Okay, so your actions are based on what type of outcomes you want from another person, such as that neighbor perhaps wanting to borrow the picnic table eventually. Some related words, you can just go ahead and list one, ulteriorly. And cartoon or doodle, you can go ahead and surprise me with that, okay? Let's go ahead and go to the next one. Let's see. Okay, which is sabotage. So sabotage is an adjective as well. So go ahead and write adjective. Oops. And then the formal definition is crafty interference with production or work. Okay, so we'll just leave it like that. There was a little bit more there, but we can just use that definition. And then the sentence from context and page, it's again from page 411. And the sentence reads, well, you've got to beat them to the punch. Do what everyone tries to do. Sabotage the machinery. Throw sand in its gears. That's awful. It will definitely ruin the machine. So your own sentence. Sabotage is always cruel. So this is an example. Some political campaigners or campaigns are designed, I'll fix that in a minute, to sabotage the competition. Okay, so a synonym would be destroy or suppress. Okay. And an antonym would be improve. So the opposite, restore. Okay, that's good, those two. Your own definition, let's see. I'm gonna leave that one up to you and see what you surprise me with. Okay, that's also a way for me to know that you are paying attention to this audio, understanding the definition, using these sample sentences and sample or the context where we see the vocabulary word used. That way I see you use it in your own definition. So related words. Saboteur. So saboteur. Saboteur, it's a funny word, but that is a related word to sabotage. And again, surprise me with your own cartoon or doodle. Okay, so let's continue. Current slide. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and fit in the next lecture. It's more vocabulary word, and you're gonna turn to page 19. So on page 19, you see the vocabulary word exorbitant, which means excessive. So that means way too much, right? Beyond a lot. A lot does not even express excessive. Excessive is just an abundance, okay? You can find this word on page 871. The sample sentence, Angela's mom walked away from the salesperson exclaiming, "I'm never coming to this dealer again. The prices are exorbitant." So way too high or excessive. My little clip here is like a comic strip. We see it's raining here. It says, "You should have purchased an umbrella before it started to rain." So we see here that this woman wants to buy an umbrella, and now that it's raining, the salesman selling these umbrellas on the street, perhaps, is not selling umbrellas for $4, which is a reasonable price, but now they've been spiked to $30 for an umbrella. So that's an exorbitant amount. That's an exorbitant price. Okay, exorbitant, as you see there, spelled out for you, so that way you can, or sound it out for you, so you can make sure that you're pronouncing it correctly. Let's go to the next slide. Again, this is on page 19. The next vocabulary word is impetuosity, which means sudden action with little thought, found on page 874. The sentence reads, "Teenagers and adults can often resist impetuosity while walking through a parking lot, but little toddlers cannot, and so it is necessary to hold their hands." So because small children or toddlers would act without giving much thought, they would run out into the street without stopping and thinking that they might run into danger and get hit by a car. So some examples of impetuosity would be, here we see, "Let's get married tonight." Well, that would be a little, jumping to a big decision without giving much thought. Or we see this girl who has several boxes of gifts and of bags. So she went shopping, probably didn't give too much thought, and did what we call compulsive buying, where she just buys on a whim. Okay, she doesn't think about how much money she has in her bank account. She might just put it on a credit card, and that's acting impetuously. Okay. Also, on page 19, the directions read, down at the bottom, you're only going to be answering a couple questions here. I believe I've crossed out the ones that you don't need to complete. The directions read, fill in each blank with the correct word from the word list. The word list is listed below sentence 2 here on the screen. The students also felt that the requirement of writing a 25-page paper was, is it going to be exorbitant, meaning excessive or way too much, or impetuosity, meaning sudden action with little thought? Well, the answer is exorbitant. So they felt that writing 25 pages was exorbitant. So it was excessive. Number 3, I think it is an act of blank for you to make such an assignment, remarked one student. Perhaps you should give it a little more thought. Well, then obviously that is going to be referring to our vocabulary word impetuosity, meaning sudden action with little thought. So I think it is an act of impetuosity for you to make such an assignment. Okay, page 20, answer number 1 in your student activity workbook. So what you need to do is use both of these words in a sentence. Okay, so price and exorbitant. $15 seemed an exorbitant price for a hamburger. Well, nowadays, maybe I should change that to $20. But in any case, I also agree. $15 is an excessive or an exorbitant price for a hamburger. Regret and impetuosity. If you buy something in a moment of impetuosity, you may later regret it. Okay, so that's using both the word regret. So if you think of the girl with all those bags And that's the end because I have out of time.